Hey everyone, Jessica Burrell here. Welcome to lucky number 13 of Everyday Inspiring Women. I am super excited to have my friend Jessie Pare here. We met not too long ago and became friends on Facebook, and I've been following her story for a few weeks. And I thought to myself, this is a woman who is kicking ass and taking names, and I am dying to know more about her. So, like really quick, but I thought, you know what, Jessie, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And I can't wait to hear more about your story. So that we could just like jump into it. And I thought if you could do like a quick intro, fill in all my blanks there. Tell us more about yourself. It's always better coming from the person than from me anyway.
Okay, so I'm Jessie Pare. I have two beautiful children that are the ages of 3 and 4, named Aubrey and Amina. Growing up, I had a rocky childhood. I didn't meet my father till I was 15. Through that, when I did meet him, I learned many things and many obstacles that he was going through and the type of lifestyle that he had. And I knew that I wanted something more and something better right from that start. So I finished high school. I went off to college. My first dream was to open up a daycare center for disabled children.
Oh, wow.
About months into the ECE program, I quickly found out that it was not for me and not something that I loved and I wasn't passionate about. Like I had to drag myself out of bed just to go to school. I did complete my first year, even getting pregnant in my first year, which was really crazy, but I was so dedicated that I had the garbage can waiting for me next to my seat when I was coming in.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
So I started doing a little bit of research on the different courses that St. Clair had to offer. And I was starting to I was getting intrigued by the criminology program. So I started taking the criminal justice and law, and I fell in love. So I ended up completing 3 years of it, which was amazing. It was a great journey, loved it. Then another obstacle came in a fork in the road. I ended up going through separation and divorce. So I got to learn how the justice system was and everything that it was about. And I, again, quickly found out that it wasn't something that I was no longer passionate about. And I didn't want to be a part of it, going through those trials. So after that, I became manager a little bit after. And I loved the power of being, I guess, a boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from there, I learned that I was passionate. I was working 12-hour days. I would miss, as sad as it is, I would miss like school meetings, like with my daughters and events to do overtime or go out of town, for instance, for this. I was just about being in charge and the boss and seeing how I got all the workers together to make an organization product throughout the day. I love the feeling that I got, or walking into the store after not being there for the weekend and seeing how my worked even without me being there. I fell in love.
That's awesome.
So I ended up meeting a girlfriend who was going to a femme fatale party afterwards. And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Anyone who knows me, I'm super shy and like in a little bubble, like not about it at all. But I went there and I fell in love. The woman that was presenting was Tessa, and I loved her confidence and the way she spoke about the products, and she was so happy, and all the women coming together of different demographics and different age groups and coming together and being uplifted and empowered and just having a good time. Like no matter what lifestyle they had, each person in each demographic had a wonderful time, whether they were 20 or 60 years old. I was noticing that coming together, and I really wanted to be part of that. So it took me about 4 months of doing parties and shadowing before I was like, all right, get me on this train. I really want to do this.
Awesome.
After being divorced and going through an abusive relationship, I had no confidence and I had zero self-esteem. But this helped me get out of my bubble and helped me gain my confidence back. And I'm just truly grateful to be a part of such a wonderful organization and company.
That's amazing. So I know the answer, but what is Femme Fatale?
Femme Fatale is an novelty and bath and beauty company. We're new and we're direct sales, but we're the first direct sales company to offer benefits. We have doctors on staff training our girls to be sexually educated certified, which is amazing. So yeah, all our products are all organic, all natural, vegan free. I love it.
That's awesome. I love the idea of having doctors on staff to educate you, because when you're like empowering women, like, and talking openly about sex, then it's like, how can we educate properly? So when you're having those conversations.
I feel like in this, a lot of people aren't being properly educated. I go to a lot of like the local sex shops, and they'll just let you buy whichever and whatever, and they never really tell you what's in the product or how to properly use it without getting anything or causing any damage to your body. So I loved that this company, it wasn't just about selling for them. They really wanted you to know what was in the product, how to use it, what was good for you, what wasn't good for you. They were very informative, which I loved.
Yeah, I think that's just awesome. Good for you. So how's that going for you now? So it took you 4 months to kind of start building up your confidence again. So that's really good. And where has that led you?
So about 6 months after, I was able to quit my full-time management job to be home with my babies. I've quickly grown a team. I guess kind of quickly, but it took a bit. But I've grown a team of over 20 amazing women. Some of them aren't quite like set in stone. They're still in like the what if pile. Yeah. And I know it took me to get on board. So I created a little group. So I put in information, I look up different webinars, and I read a lot. So I'll like send all like the books that have helped me to get them on board. So I'm just so grateful and blessed that I was able to quit my full-time job to pursue my passions and be able to empower women all over the world, because we're now corporate in the US. So that's really big and I'm really excited. We're hoping to reach out to countries in the future. So I'm really excited to be a part of a globally empowered team of women.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's really good. That's exciting. And so what else do you have cooking? Because I know you're into lots more, you're doing lots of stuff right now.
So not all my things are done yet, but I have a few upcoming projects which I'm very happy to announce. So right now I'm working, not everything's set in stone, but I'm working on an Empress boutique, which I'm so excited. It's gonna have different designer wear for not just like businesswomen, but mom. So you're comfy and you're fashionable and you're feeling good about yourself, but comfy at the same time. We're gonna have different like purses, different shoes, an array of different products. Another one that I'm working on is my first book. Because I'm divorced and I'm young, I know there's a lot of women out there who have experienced the same things. And I know how I felt. I wouldn't wish upon anybody. And at the time, there wasn't enough out there. There wasn't enough information out there in the community for what I was going through, and having children at the same time. So I really want to empower women who are going through the same thing and let them know that they're not alone and that they can achieve anything beyond that, and they're not just stuck being the young divorced with 2 kids.
Right, like removing that stigma too, and saying like, how can you were lucky to have found Femme Fatale and your career at the same time, so that it could start pulling you through that, right? But educating yourself and empowering yourself and going, I had to do this all by my own, and like, how can I help you so you don't have to do all that legwork?
Right. Another thing that we're working on with Femme Fatale, we're putting on a gala. Having been in the hiatus house at our charity, and I'm so honored to get together with all the women in our community and women of Windsor to put on this gala and support such a great cause, and how much they helped me being there. I'm just, again, so proud and honored to be able to give back to the community who gave back to me when I needed it so much.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And that we can talk about a little bit that more at the end when I say how to get in contact with you, but that's coming up in August?
August 17th. It's from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m.
On August what? I missed the date. Sorry, hon.
17th.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And I'll post that link in the comments too. Excellent. You're doing a lot. It's beautiful. Yeah. And you're doing a talk in June too, aren't you?
I'm so nervous. I've only spoke to around 100 women at one time. Like, I haven't been in that big crowd since high school, being in musicals or being in choir. So I'm very excited. It's the Women of Purpose conference in Toronto, which is June 2nd. So I'm so excited I got asked to be a part of it, and I'm just so honored.
That's beautiful. I can't wait to hear how that goes. And I'll is that a ticketed event too, Jessie?
Yes, it is. Tickets are only $60. So it's not, and that includes your you get a hot breakfast and a hot lunch as well, and that's included in the ticket price. So
wow, it's a great price. Yeah.
I'll set up the event bright, and I'll do the link at the bottom when we're done.
Perfect. Yeah. Send me all that info and I'll make sure I include it for sure. Excellent. Okay. So you're like Wonder Woman doing everything. So how do you, I'm obsessed with self-care, I think right now, because I'm struggling myself personally, fitting in me in the list of to-dos, so your to-do list is ginormous. How are you making sure that you're taking time for yourself to tap into what you need and what you want?
It's so honestly, because I have 2 children and my new husband has 2 children as well. So with 4 children, a husband, it is insane. It is hard. Now, I'm not the greatest example because sometimes I lack the self-care part. A lot of times I'll work myself into the ground, and then there'll be a week where I can't do it no more. So after going through that many times, I started learning quickly after reading up and watching different videos that I need to do more self-care in order to care for others. So I need to serve myself before I can serve others, and I'm starting to appreciate that a whole lot more. I'm just going to move because my phone is going to die.
I got to plug it in, eh?
Yes. That's from watching all the videos.
Yeah, I'm getting an action shot of your hair blowing in the wind. It's beautiful. So good. I want to talk a little bit more about that. I'm curious, because I think self-care really means different things for different people. Sometimes what feels like self-care for me, for someone else would not feel like self-care. I'm an extrovert. Most people, everyone I know seems to be an introvert. Not me. So I'm like an extrovert. So I actually get my own self-care, and I get filled up by being around people. I know a lot of people who, because they're introverted, that's the opposite effect, where they want to feel they need to recharge their batteries after they've been around people. Some people like getting manis and petties. Other people say that's not enough self-care for me. They need different things. So I find self-care is really a personal preference, and it's what makes me feel good, what fills up my cup individually. So when you are thinking self-care for Jessie, what does that look like for you?
I am a nature. I love it. So I love going for walks. Even if it's cold, I love taking like a walk along the beach. I like, there's not a lot of places to have a Ojibwe because again, I love the nature and I love the wildlife and I'm obsessed with wild animals. I am horrible. Like I actually, my self-care this weekend consisted of taking care of the baby bunnies that were living in my backyard and protecting the burrow. So I would like sit out there and read my book, which again, that's a part of my self-care. I love reading. So read my book. So I would sit out near like the burrow because I have a lot of fox and coyotes in my neighborhood. Nice. So I would like sit out there and make sure nothing was disturbing my bunnies.
Oh, that's awesome. See, like it is different for everyone. And I think nature is a big pull. A lot of women do feel pulled to nature and like feeling like whole in nature. That's good. I like that one. That's awesome. So like in combination with the self-care, like what about any mom guilt? Like do you get mom guilt or how do you deal with that when those feelings come on?
I get I'll be gone joint custody with my ex. So I do week on, week off. And with so many business events, I'm never guaranteed to schedule my business events when I don't have the children. Mm-hmm. So I see if I have like 3 or 4 events during the week and my daughter's in school. So my events normally start at like 5 or 6. And then by the time I get home, she's already in. So I feel so guilty because there's some weeks that I go without seeing them. But in order for me to get out of it, I look for the future. And then I think back to where I was like a couple years ago and where I am now. And then I just think of the future. If I keep going, it's going to pay off for them and they're going to respect and appreciate it a whole lot more. And already my daughter's going on 5 in June. And whenever I'm getting ready, she's like, are you going to a business meeting? And then if I ask her what she wants to be, she'll say, I want to be a business like my mommy. And it just fills my heart. It makes me so happy that she's noticing everything, despite how hard it is for me some days to like get up in the morning and keep it going. That's what keeps me going, is how proud my children are of me is what keeps me going. I literally see the empowerment. I didn't have that growing up. So for me to do that and pass it on to my children is so important for me, especially them being girls.
Absolutely. Like setting that example and showing them what is possible and what can be done. Yeah.
Right.
Totally. That's awesome. I love that she said that too. That's so cute. Oh, I love it. So I talk a lot about themes. So like I notice like the universe and like if you're meditating on a theme or you're working towards a theme, it's like it's always kind of popping up for you. So I'm just curious if you're working towards something and like themes that are coming up for you right now, what they are.
What do you mean by themes?
So perfect. So right now for me, like boundaries are coming up for me and going like, am I setting enough boundaries or am I struggling with boundaries with other people? Or sometimes it's like things will start like coming up consistently. So for example, like relationships will come up. So everyone I talk to is talking about their relationship. Or right now, everyone I'm talking to is talking about boundaries. So it's like, not only it's on my mind, and that's like the second I talk to somebody else, they bring it up and I'm like, okay, like this is something the universe is telling me to really hone in on. So like,
right.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's boundaries or themes, but I guess what I should start doing for like upcoming is organizing like my business time, my children time, and my husband time, which sometimes like right now it's so hard to like schedule my husband in between like the business and the children. And then when I come home from my business events, oftentimes he's in home too. So I guess I'm starting to set boundaries for myself and not separate completely from like my business, but start focusing more on family, especially now that my business is starting to take off. So I definitely need to start sounding like me boundaries, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, you shook there for a sec. Yeah. Well, I think that's just it, is saying like having carved out work time, carved out personal time with the kids, carved out personal time with your hubs, because I don't know if this happens for you, but sometimes it's like, if I'm not doing that, then I'm working when I'm supposed to be with the kids, or I'm watching the kids when I'm supposed to be working, and then nobody's getting my full attention at all. Work's not getting my full attention. My kids aren't getting my full attention. So everyone has to share instead of just focusing on that one task.
Yes, I 100% agree.
All right. Well, keep me posted on how that was working out for you. Like if you start putting some like more time, like scheduled time or whatever, however you want to call it, right?
I'm the one to stick on my mirror. So I was gonna start sticking notes on my mirror, like around like where I get ready to like take 2 hours and like go outside with the kids, or go talk to your husband, or set up a date night like weekly or bi-weekly. So I think I'm gonna start doing notes because I know it works for me.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. I bought whiteboard markers, you know, like those dry erase markers, and I use that on my mirror sometimes.
That will look better than my sticky notes because it's getting crowded.
Yeah. I started with sticky notes, and then I saw someone writing on glass with a dry erase, and I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? So I thought that was a really good idea, actually.
The ideas that I come up with now.
It's really, I mean, Pinterest, like it's so super creative, right?
I'm definitely guilty of being a Pinterest fanatic.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I feel you there. So you talk a lot about books, and like you do a lot of personal development reading. If you had like, would you say is your most favorite book? If you can narrow it down, can you narrow it down to one book?
The Spirit by Tyson Zahner. He's like my absolute favorite. I love him. My favorite quote, it's so embarrassing because I don't remember it, but I have it written again on my mirror and my sticky notes upstairs. So I'm just going to go check out what it says.
Perfect. So what's the book about? I've not heard of that one before.
It's all about energy. So like whether it's bad energy, good energy, it talks about how all energy is good, is for you and made for you, which I love because so it kind of teaches you how to take the negative energy and turn it into positive energy, or taking your positive energy and making it even more positive than what it already is.
Oh, I love that. I'll post that in the link too and below to see how that, so people can have it. Because I'm going to check that out. I love good audiobooks.
So
go ahead.
It doesn't matter where you are in the past. It matters where the steps you take to go to the future.
Love it. That's perfect. Yes. That's on your mirror in your bedroom?
Yes.
Awesome. I love it. Perfect. So where are you at? How can people get in touch with you then?
I am on Instagram, Jessie.Pare. I am on Facebook, Jessie Pare as well. And people can email me if they'd like. I'll drop my email in the comments afterwards.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, this is so great. This was awesome. I'm so glad that you agreed to do this. I could get to know you a little bit better, and we'll be in touch for sure. And then I would love to be able to, I'm sure I'll be at the masquerade ball in August for sure.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. So keep me posted on your times, how that's going for you. And I'll post all the information in the bottom of the YouTube video below. And then, and if anyone has any questions, they can reach out, or if they are interested more in Femme Fatale, it sounds like an amazing company, and you're doing so well with it. So I think it's important to have those open conversations with other women about our sexuality, and and not be afraid, not be ashamed to talk about it. I think that's really empowering.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessie. We'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Bye.